Good morning. This is Pastor Jason of Kona Faith Center with the word for today. And the word for today is grace. My definition for grace is that grace is everything. It's everything you need to be who God made you to do what God made you to do. Grace and truth came into the world, comes to us through King Jesus. I'm reading the NCV this year for the daily Bible reading. It says that sin rules man, but by grace we can be ruled by Jesus. I don't know about you, but I grew up with the idea that nobody rules me. My dad used to quote this famous poem to us all the time. It's called Invictus. And the final line is, I am the captain of my fate, the master of my soul. Nothing could be farther from the truth. Bob Dylan wrote a song years ago that comes much closer to capturing the truth. You got to serve somebody. It may be the devil or it may be the Lord, but you got to serve. The NCV says you either serve sin, are ruled by sin, or you serve the Lord. You submit yourself to the rule and reign of Jesus. And then fortunately for us, he adds, by grace. Now, grace can be seen in many ways. Some limit grace to the forgiveness of sins. Some limit grace to what they call unmerited favor. Although by grace, through Jesus, we have mercy, which is unmerited favor. We have forgiveness of sins. Grace includes God's empowerment to submit to the rule and reign of Jesus. Grace includes access to whatever we need, and we access whatever we need. We access grace by faith. So in the bigger picture of things, grace is God's part. Faith is our part. Grace is the enablement to live in a way that pleases God. Faith is an action, the action of obedience that moves us to the place where God can supply everything we need. Interesting. Paul writes something interesting about grace. He says that abounding in faith is by grace. He says that abounding in speech is because of grace. He says that abounding in knowledge is because of grace. He says that abounding in diligence is because of grace. He says that abounding in love is because of grace. He says that abounding in giving is because of grace. Now, I'm sure that Paul's not saying that these are the only things that we can abound in, grow in, prosper in, be successful in by grace. In fact, I think Paul is saying that everything we need, everything good that we do, everything in our relationship with God works for us, comes to us, is empowered by grace. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, that you brought grace and truth into the world. The word for today is grace. God bless. Check in tomorrow.